Gaussian air units inbound.
Oh my gosh, someone followed. It's Ty Guy. Wait, no, he's subbed. Oh my gosh. Holy moly. Well, thanks, my man. Anyway, hey, welcome back to DOK. Just some casual replays today. These are posted on, well, casual replays on Homeworld Universe, so hopefully you enjoy them. First one here's actually me. Hashtag justice for Bozo, but I'd say he got justice, so that's fine. I keep trying to change my username back, though, and, like, Steam won't let me, which is really funny. Oh well. Against, actually, Houston here. And this is a really fun replay played on the New Shallows. I want to cast this one because this is going to be a map that's in the tournament. And I really want people to be, you know, aware of, like, how this map plays out, and what kind of things we can do on it. So, good to watch some examples of games being played on it before we, what am I trying to say? Good to, like, you know, see some examples of play on it before you encounter it in tournament. Sandskimmer Fab looks like started for Houston almost immediately right here, but he has kept this base runner, so he's not gonna go for an eco play, I don't think, right? Obviously he wouldn't be going to Skimmer Fab if he was. As for me though, it's gonna be ref mode first, and this is something that you can do on this map, I think, but I kind of messed up my my salvager line here. I started the second RU guy late, so CUs are a little bit strong. Too many CUs here, too much of an imbalance there. Constant's too strong, spamming missiles in this map. Yeah, that's what I was really worried about in testing, but I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen ConF have like an abnormally high win rate on it. I am always worried about, you know, how close the second base is to your opponent's second. So far though, it seemed to have played pretty well, but it's definitely something I'm going to be looking at in the tournament. You know, try and see if people are able to use that. Looks like that probe is going to get sniped. Conf carrier has quite a bit of range. Since it has no ranged power system, it's always at kind of an average range. And Houston coming up here with a bit of a rush here, and his second tech has not started yet. He's going Fleet Cap 45 instead. As for me though, ref mode almost done here, but obviously a little bit awkward as I don't have any, you know, defense, right? And so I'm not going to be able to really gain the benefits of ref mode just yet. But it looks like I actually want to fight for this base runner here. That doesn't seem like it's going to work, though, because obviously this is 4-on-1, so even with that heal ability, the Sandskimmer is going to get chunked, so he's going to go down. Maybe a bit of a mistake there. It's going to let Houston get this strike-craft superiority, but in that case, you'd kind of hope that he had already gone for his tech. I started teching there, but then I stopped, if you noticed, on Assault Ship Fab, so I'm clearly not quite sure yet what I want to go for. Base runner here, finally no longer immobilized, but you know, he's obviously going to die here. This guy may have survived if I would have just run him straight home, but it's hard to say. Okay, here we go. We finally have the tech for Houston, then it's going to be Rail Fab. And I was wondering if he had started a second PC with the downtime that he had, but it doesn't look like it. But he's going to start extracting this first artifact. He did keep that base runner, mind you. This is obviously going to slow down the rush, right, if you keep the base runner. But if you slow down the rush and get artifacts out, maybe it's worth it. So, obviously, yeah, and as you can see, I did lose my base runner, so Paulus is correct. First throw of the game. But second PC is on the way for me, no tech yet. And Houston's going to have the tech first, so I do need to be careful about that. But it's clear, I seem to believe that I will be okay without it. The Sandskimmer here going to kind of throw itself in past the carrier, so it is going to get sniped here. Does this guy get out? He does. This is kind of offsetting the bad skimmer trades that I took in the very beginning. I'd say that the units lost, we're probably even now. Oh yeah, because I lost that base runner. I've actually only lost one skim to his 3, so this is actually looking pretty good for me so far. Houston, meanwhile, does have that rail tech done, though, so he's got the tech advantage, and assault rails are going to come out here. And I'd say that may be enough to stop him from being killed by, you know, just skims here. But notice he has no float here. He's getting ref mode, actually. Okay, I see. Yeah, I think Galzian's options here are interesting. He can go for ref mode and back away, but if he does this, he's obviously going to lose the tempo off of this push. I might have liked to see him, you know, save up a bit of CUs earlier and then go for a second production cruiser a bit faster. So faster on the rail tech and faster on the second PC. And if he chooses, like, if he has to go eco at that point, he still has a very strong pop back because he's obviously going to be on 3 base instantly if he needs it, so. Those are my thoughts at the moment, but you can see I still haven't picked a tech choice here, and I haven't seen any tech from him, so it doesn't feel terribly important to me to, like, get tech out right away. So I'm kind of able to sit on just 2 PC here, and that's allowed me to get my eco set up actually pretty nicely. Houston's ref mode is going to be done in a moment, though, and he does have salvagers producing, so he's going to be on 2 base behind me, but not too far behind. And he still has the army advantage, as well as the ability to get artifacts out, although this guy, I think, didn't actually pick this up. Uh-oh. Yeah, he may have, like, grabbed the first one and then given him, like, queued orders like this, but he won't pick up the artifact if he already had one when you queued him to go over here, so... Awfully chipper today. I'm not really sure what that means, but thanks. I am pretty happy if that's what you mean. Railgun Fab is going to be the choice for me here. Houston, meanwhile, you'd expect to see that second PC coming out soon, because otherwise he'll fall behind in production as well, but he hasn't started it yet, so... Lively, cheerful, etc. Yeah. Yeah, I feel pretty chipper. It's maybe a little bit of a mistake for me, so I'm moving this carrier out here to try and shove, like, where the army was last time I saw it, but these skims, I think, have the numbers advantage. No ups on either one of us here. Looks like not going to be capitalized on, though. I'm filling out, actually, my my second base salvagers right now, so it looks like I'm not as far ahead as it looks. Oh my gosh. Did this guy teleport, or did he just have a bad rally? He may have just rallied this guy like that. But regardless, we're getting up to second base actually pretty close to each other, as it turns out. But I don't want to let him extract this, and obviously, you know, I've made mistakes, as we saw in that last cast, trying to, like, really force, you know, stopping the artifact extraction, so I don't want to, like, int for it or anything, but, you know, if I can, it'd be good to stop this. And I have scouting on the second base, I know he's not on there, so I'm not terribly worried about falling behind. One assault railgun is done here, but I have a couple of heavies coming out as well. Yeah, that whole debacle was pretty ridiculous, Paulus, wasn't it? But I think that we've gotten to a pretty good spot right now. At any rate, we're not going to be bothered by the mods, you know, in a way that'll kind of disrupt JC8, which is very good to hear. Heavy railgun, as you can see, is out for what's his face, Houston. He's on the chat too. What's his face? This is gonna kind of dissuade me from pushing with the carrier here, but I want to, if I can, you know, keep these skims up here and, you know, do something with these assault, you know, do something with this artifact to stop him getting out. But the assault rail is gonna stop me here. Looks like heavy rail is gonna be hitting this assault here. He's a little bit vulnerable, but looks like he's gonna get out free. So like one sand skimmer went down. It's kind of a remarkably bloodless game here, isn't it? Only 4 units lost from me, 3 from him. This could be a fight brewing here, though, but it doesn't look like it. Heavy rail wants to fight the other heavy rail from him. I do have the base runner for heal. Okay, in fact, that's going to pop right now. That's probably wise, because obviously he did have high ground there. So if he wanted to keep that fight up, he maybe would have won it. But it looks like at this point I'm going to decide to start building salvagers. So I seem to be moving back down onto 3 base here. And Houston, meanwhile, is getting some of those sand skimmer upgrades there. He does have power 1 on the carrier also, but I'm actually not really sure why he's gone for this. Maybe that was a bit of a mistake, because obviously he hasn't used this carrier at all yet, so getting the power upgrade, maybe not the best choice here, but... Skimmer armor coming up for me as well. I'd love to make a push on these rails, but, I don't know, it's probably not going to go anywhere good. The thing is, unless you can jump the skims right onto the rails from the very get-go, I don't think you really have a good... try at, like, killing them, because, you know, they'll get damage done, and then the skims will come in, and if they can trade evenly with you, you'll just lose that fight. So I think it's wise for both of us to back away there. But, okay, so I do want to say, though, knowing that we're both going for lots of skims and we're going for railguns, I think the obvious choice, actually, from both players here should probably be honor guards as the next tech. Either that, or moving into assault ship fab and spreading wide, but that takes a lot of time, and the assault ships aren't great against the railguns that are going to be out, right? Especially if both of us end up, you know, investing into skimmer upgrades. So this is probably going to be a bit of like a mirror tech game here. And in fact, if I remember correctly, this is indeed what happens. We both go for honor guards, but you know, you can see like the value that it has on the field, right? Lots of skims out there that you can kill, lots of railguns that can take a lot of damage as well. Kind of carriers flomping some missiles out across the board, but hasn't really been able to find any targets just yet. He is getting up on a 3 base now as well himself, but a little bit slower, so I'm obviously already on it. Being too passive here. Yeah, you might be right. There's honor guard fab, by the way. It started for me now, finally. I don't think... the tricky thing is, though, because I had 2 PC faster, your army isn't bigger than mine, though. So it's really nervous to, like, take a fight here, because if you do lose that fight, you know, you're really going to regret it. So, hard to say that that's necessarily a wrong move. Oh, sorry, I missed that a little bit. Fight starts over here on the side. He does kill that scouting skim, but the assault rails get a couple shots off. This is looking okay. Uh-oh, but here's a really big problem. These skims are out of position. They're not moving yet. Okay, they're going to see it now, so the carrier's going to get involved, and he has quite a bit of power. He'll be able to hurt this skimmer blob, but he's definitely behind it. Uh-oh. By the way, Honor Guard tech started for Houston as well here. But lots of rails getting cleaned up here, and looks like it's getting more too. Looks like the upgrades right now are even for us, but if he had had raiding, perhaps he could have caught this. A lot of units lost there, then. That's really kind of like the first battle of this whole game, to be honest. Looks like the units lost tab actually is even on numbers, but you can see just how much more valuable those units were that Houston has lost. Probe here, gonna get denied. That's obviously fine for me, though. Just wanted to get a bit of vision before that push came in. But I have picked up an artifact with this base burner also. Heavy rails on the side here means it's not easy for him to counterattack with assault rails, but I've kind of just killed them all, so maybe that's a bit academic. But again, third PC is on the way for me now, so my production is going to be higher than his also. Honor Guard tech done for both of us, and Houston is going to be the first one to start building. Fight brewing here. But the assault railguns are still here, so the skims really have to clear them out and then just, I think, get out of there. I don't think he'll win this fight, because even though he does have the upgrade advantage technically because he's gotten raiding, you know, that's not a combat upgrade. And indeed, that fight doesn't go terribly well for him either, so now the units lost tab starting to drift a little bit further away from him, as you can see. And no PC here either means I am going to be able to rebuild this army faster than him. As you can see, third PC is out on the field now. Looks like I'm going to queue a base runner first, though, before this Honor Guard cruiser. Oh, this heavy rail is... This heavy rail has seen better days. He's going to go down. Calibration upgrade coming out for me as well. Remember, like, these railguns, it's not like campaign. I was showing my girlfriend the campaign mode a couple days ago, and I was like, why are the rails so long range? They can fire like 4,000 meters away. It's insane. But obviously, range calibration is going to allow you to hit, I'd say, from this high ground position all the way out like here, or maybe even here. So you get a lot of control here just from that hill, and it's very, very difficult for your opponent to fight for that hill, because obviously you have high ground the entire way. Honor Guard fires its first shot. I'm going to be a little surprised to see it. Does manage to do a bit of damage to those skims, so good trade there by Houston, kind of evening these numbers up a little bit, but he's got a ways to go still. And this isn't exactly what he wants to do either. Railguns that are on high ground, they actually are surprisingly effective in Strikecraft battles. Like, obviously heavy railguns are not going to beat Strikecraft, right? But they will contribute to the fight. So he has to be careful. He can't push in like that. And having these rails on this ground here with the range calibration on means I'm pretty much safe from getting counterattacked, you know, over this side. This flank is secure. I think if Houston wants to play for counterattacks, he kind of has to look to the other flank, and obviously this is where my extraction zone is, and so it's not easy for him to make that call. Honor Guard actually in a little bit of danger here, but it looks like he'll be mostly okay. He does get shot by mine, but they've got quite a bit of health, so he's going to be alright. But now that Honor Guard is out, I really... First off, I don't want to invest into the damage upgrades. You can see Houston has invested a little bit into that, but not much. But when it comes to a fight against these skims, the winner is going to be determined by who has the Honor Guard shooting, right? And so I don't really care about... having the damage upgrades on my skims, but I have to be really, really careful with the blob, and so does he, because, you know, one shot, that can basically seal the deal. But a little flank coming up for me as well here. And again, Houston's still on 2 base, well, he's on 3 base. He's on 2 base production. He hasn't built another PC yet, so it's going to be very difficult for him if he wants to match the army production for me here. I'm going to tech wide, though. You can see I've got actually quite a bit of a float, which is interesting. But I'm about to hit fleet cap, so I'm not really sure what I could do with all that money. But I do tech into assault ship fab. Oh no, Honor Guard gets a good shot here. This is actually 2 Honor Guards, so they're going to hit him again. Kills another 3 skims here. These are losses that are not easy to take. This Honor Guard gonna get a shot off maybe? No, it doesn't quite. Flank meanwhile has reached the target here, so looks like there's one assault rail chilling over there, probably gonna get killed off, and that's gonna be something that he has to deal with. So you can see Skimmer Blob is, well, it's not sure where to go. It really needs to go up here though to deal with this. You think so? Well, it's interesting because the Strikecraft have to make themselves scarce, so you can really only use them in, you know, in flanking maneuvers at this point, I think. These Strikecraft being on the front line is maybe a bit of a mistake, because you can see just how quickly they get chunked, and actually the skim's gonna drive up here. They want to kill this Honor Guard in close range, and they're gonna get it. Bit of high ground line of sight blocking manipulation gonna be used there. That Conniff carrier, though, with those missiles is still trying to find targets, but a bit of a miss on this heavy rail here. Main base has to be evacuated, and this is big problems for Houston. He can move that PC over to here, though, and at least take his third base with it. But right now he's moving out his carriers. So he's actually on, like, one base at the moment. Looks like that Conniff carrier, in fact, wants to move forward here. Power 3 coming up for me, though. I do have more power than him, I think. No, because he's got the one artifact. But this honor guard up here on the top is starting to get into danger. Yeah, this honor guard is going to die here. And if this one goes down, there's really nothing stopping the Sandskimmer blob from running in. And yeah, you can see, that's exactly what I was thinking. So right then, they've given a move order to come in. Railguns are doing really good damage here as well, and this may just be a carrier kill. I don't really see what can be done about this. An honor guard pops on the front line though. It's, you know, it's interesting. But it goes down, and Houston is indeed gonna GG, or maybe he was killed there. I didn't quite see. But that is gonna be the game for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wanted to cast this one because it's on the shallows, obviously. And this map is gonna be in the tournament. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the game. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll cast some more on stream if you're watching live.